let's get into a guy who isn't raw. This is the elder statesman here of the cuts we got here. And that's Joshua Kelley. Another guy, again, that we just signed. It's almost like everybody we signed in the last month is just disappearing slowly but surely. But again, that's why they were available. Great players aren't walking the streets at that point available readily in August. They're signed by them. So
usually
5'11", 212 pounds. A guy that was the main backup running back there for the Chargers for the last couple of seasons. Got kind of caught up in the regime change there, so he's gone. He's got only averaged 3.8 yards per carry last season, guys. He's the guy that, like, if you need a couple yards, he'll get it for you. But if you need him to be a power horse, like, workhorse kind of back, that's not him. He worked perfectly with Austin Eckler because they were complete opposites. Here's a guy who runs up the middle or runs to the edge, gets a couple of yards each time, no problem. But he's never the guy that's going to break the big run. He's never the guy that's going to make people miss. He's never the guy that you're going to want to be your starting running back. And that's the problem, I think. In order to make it in this league, you have to have, as a running back at least, a skill that you can say, this guy does this very well. And that's not what you got there. You don't have that at all with Joshua Kelley. He's just a steady guy that's going to get you, 3-4 yards each time he runs the ball. And that's it. To me, that's not good enough anymore in the NFL the way it's set up.
It depends on the team. It depends on the play. It depends on the layout. But yes, typically nowadays, like we've talked about this before. You've got teams that will set up a workhorse running back, which Joshua Kelley will not let you do. He's not the workhorse running back. So, and the other thing is a committee, and
yep,
it depends on your committee. But at the same time, usually when you have a committee, you got the finesse guy, you got the speed guy, you got the power guy. So you got the diversity, which is still a skill. And this, we talk about Kelley, like he's straight up I formation, usually up the middle, and
we can do off the tackle too. It's just he just has no cuts.
Yeah, he doesn't. But I don't want to say
hole, and that's it.
Yeah, and I don't want to say like he's a power guy. Like he's good. He's really good at that one.
Yeah,
up the middle, breaking the tackle, get 4 yards. And listen, 4 yards every time gets you a first down.
Yeah. But it won't be 4 yards every time. He got 3.8 because of the fact that he was going and pairing with Eckler, and it was a perfect,
yes,
yang kind of style there at that point. You had the really shifty guy, and then you had the one cut guy.
Exactly. And when you're working on a committee, like you don't want a guy that just goes, and he might get you 2 yards. He might get you 6.
Yeah.
I just you 4.
I wasn't impressed with what I saw. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah. It wasn't. I looked at him and go, "This guy's absolute trash." I just didn't see anything special. And maybe that's a little cruel to say, but it just trying to give you guys my honest analysis of him. I didn't see anything special, and I saw a guy going against third team guys in the preseason and everything like that, and just not dominating. Like if you're not dominating against third team guys in a preseason game, I'm sorry, you're just not making it this league as a running back because there's so many running backs, it's not even funny. And if you got nothing special there like that, there's going to be somebody else who does. And I think he's just getting to the point where he wasn't very fast to begin with. He's getting a little up there in years as far as for running backs, at least. I'm not trying to say he's old. I'm old. He's not that old. But, he's getting to the point where running backs start declining. He's 26 years old. So that doesn't sound like that old again for a regular, but if you're counting on speed and you've now 26 years, you've done, 4 years in the NFL, 4 years in college, you got some miles. This is not the guy that's coming out of college at 24 years old. He came out at 22 like people used to do before COVID.
Yeah.
He's got 8 years of running the ball consistently not even leaving alone Pop Warner in high school years, in college.
He's got some tread.
So some tread has been gone off those tires. And I'm not saying you have a steep drop off of 26, but when you weren't that fast to begin with, if you lose a little bit, sometimes that's enough, guys.
Yeah. And like, listen, I'm sure like when he was in high school, he was the fastest guy out there. He was the biggest guy out there. We're talking about the NFL. 212 pounds as a running back. You're down a little bit above average, but you're not that much. Like, you're not King Henry, 235 pounds running off the middle. Like, you're not this big bulldozer of a guy, especially when if you're 212 pounds, even if you say high school, you're 190 pounds, like you might be a little bit bigger than the defensive line guys. You might be the same size. You're smashed through them. Guess what? These guys on those defensive lines got 50 to 100 pounds in you now. Like, you can't do what you did.
Yeah, and here's what you got to think about as well. He was basically battling for the 4th spot. And the big guy he's going against is our guy, Turbo Miller. Here's what I mean.
Turbo time.
As far as the the difference between him here, okay? So this is what he ran in the combine back in 2020. He ran a 4.5 40, which is slow for a running back. Not caveman slow, like, oh my God, this is the worst ever, but slow. And then you got a 4.27 by Turbo Miller. A quarter of a second doesn't sound like a lot, guys. But when you're talking about, we're talking about the NFL, that's a lot. That's night and day, guys. That's night and day. So, it is definitely a big difference there. So,
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please.